this technology.
Sorry. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, so she came to my office with my colleague, and we start to talk. I don't know something. What I saw, what I touched in Vanessa, she wasn't marketing. She wasn't selling something. She was talking with love. She was talking with believing something in her hands. So I don't know, that yeah, attracted me to know more about this. But if she came to me like a sales or marketing or selling something or promoting something, I think I would be not interesting. But she came with experience, with honest testimony, and so that attracted me a lot. Yeah.
Mhm. It was it's the best story. I actually talked about you when I was still over there in Ottawa. I was staying at Michelle and Stafford's, and I said, it's just that's what we believe is how this works. We do believe in just the divine connection that does happen in this flow. And also that like this man was sitting outside the hairdressers, who, by the way, I taught all my team had really pushed back. Like they can look down at you like, why are you here? We're hairdressers, right? So they didn't understand. But I know hairdressers even are on the front foot of hearing so many challenges that go on in people's personal lives, right? Hairdressers, beauticians. It's not like they need the product to necessarily have to sell, but they're hearing things. So they're a great referral. But it's when Ehab was sitting outside and he said, are you the one that just came into to here? So it was amazing. And so Ehab and Claire, we had the chance to meet. So I'd love you to meet Stafford and Michelle. Would you introduce yourself? Real leaders over there in Canada. And then you'll meet Carol and Guy, and they're as well in Ontario. So we're excited for all the connections that's going to happen for you guys.
Turn it up.
So great.
Hello. Yes, I had Vanessa was so excited when I did see her. She got to hear about this man Ehab that I met, and his lovely wife and everything else. And he's texting me, and he's actually, so sincere. But she said, I wish I'd meet 100 like him.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. Oh, thank you
just
so much.
because of your enthusiasm in that and wanting to hear. And yes, you're right. Vanessa's very passionate about this
Yeah, yeah,
and
that's
not
true. That's true.
salesy at all. I think if she
Yeah,
has taught me anything, it is totally to be yourself and to be genuine. And and I see Sandra shaking her head. We all are. Like there is something about our own personal story and testimony of this as well. But understanding how the company has enriched our lives as well too with their philosophy makes me think it's not a marketing tool. It is not that. I'm yeah, we're just thrilled to meet you. So welcome,
Thank you.
welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much.
thank you. It's nice to meet you. Yeah.
It's and while we were in Canada, we launched like live. We launched Stafford and Michelle, although they have been absolutely in business, just in person. We had an amazing party, and then they are dear friends and sponsored me and Carol over here. So you want to say hi? Just say where you're from. And we're celebrating that you guys obviously ranked to manager a little while ago, but you had a launch too. So just say hi to the team.
Hi everyone. I guess I missed the story from Ihab Khalil. Sorry, I missed it. Sorry, we were late.
Yeah.
And this is Guy.
Hey, folks. Nice to meet you. Yeah,
Hey.
we're
Hi,
in
how are you?
good. Yeah, we're in just south of Ottawa on the St. Lawrence Seaway, little town called Iroquois, and we moved out this way a couple of years ago. Nice and quiet, and we sort of have some not so great news.
Oh, yeah.
We at the our meeting 2 weeks ago, we invited a couple in our neighborhood, and she's our age, and she had a massive heart attack on Wednesday, passed away. Carol had just been over there. They bought 6 months worth of
The advance,
patches.
yeah.
And next day, she had no family history, nothing. Healthy, walks by our house every day with her dogs. And so it was sad. We went to the wake
This
That's-
afternoon.
this
Yeah.
afternoon. So,
Yeah.
but anyways,
So
it's
sorry.
not to put a downer, but it just goes to show you that, you know, if we can make an impact on people's lives and a health, then, you know, somebody totally healthy, you know, on the outside, would have possibly benefited from this,
Mhm.
you know, I don't know if people feel about vaccine, but she was vaccinated, so maybe
Mm.
there's connection there. I don't know, but
Yeah.
like her husband said, was like had a clean bill of health. She had her doctor said like there's you know, heart was in good shape and the whole bit. So
Yeah, it's just
So
bizarre.
You
So
know,
sad.
I was thinking when Michelle shared, because we had come to your launch, so just to give context to the team, in Canada, we were able to do a live launch for Michelle and Stafford, and that's been amazing. Some of their team will come on soon, and people will be on the opportunity event from that, because there's always flow back, whether you have a Zoom or you have something in person or you meet for a coffee. It's the follow-up later, obviously, right, that we love. It's the consistent follow-up of someone. In fact, someone I met in Canada, in my local town, I just had revisited, and she just said she hasn't been able to come on the last, she couldn't meet me in person, she couldn't. And then she just said, thank you for continuing to follow me up. Don't stop. And because people's lives are busy. So I just wanted to give that example. But we then went and launched Guy and Carol, and they had people. I just want to celebrate you, Carol. You had door knocked about this, you'd sent your flyers out, and then wasn't it, Michelle, like the to have neighbors in your house together where they hadn't been all together. Some of them hadn't actually been in a room like that. By the end of it, you were thinking about Christmas. And when I heard about the passing of the lady we met, I just thought about the gift of how you'd all been together just prior to that, a few days before. And what that will also do for the support of him and the bonding of your community. And already there were some people close, but I feel like something happened in that room that night as well. So some of your courage to even door knock, you know, only the Lord knew what was ahead, but to know that you'd created an even stronger sense of community is amazing.
mhm.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we are really grateful that you were able to both pop on. I would like to introduce Amanda, and I wanted to make some connections just even as practitioners. There's you, Ehab, and we all know a few more on our teams. But introduce yourself, Amanda, if you can.
Sure. So my name is Amanda. I am a functional nutritionist and I guess functional health coach and that side of things. So yeah, really just invested in seeing people get healthy and restore their lives. So looking to understand how the patches can, I guess, help people with various health conditions and yeah, make connections to different practitioners so that we can truly understand how best to really help people.
Yeah. So Amanda and Ehab and my friend Garrow and a few others, there's a wider Australian practitioner group. I've put you in that as well, Ehab. But then also there's just some tools and there's ways to really equip practitioners. There's a lot of practitioners on the This Is It team, but really it's like what information to give and how are they going to really develop this. So Amanda had just been inquiring. So we've got like pull up banners and some brochures, Amanda, and just a few strategies that have helped people like Garrow. And we're setting EHAB, and Claire is a designer, so she's going to tweak some of what we already have just for their purposes too. So we'll just stay in collaboration together, and maybe just a side chat or something without overwhelming more chats for people, but we'll just stay connected on that. So excited to have you on. And I think we have in the background, I know we've got Martin on. Just say a quick hello, Martin.
Hello, everybody. I'm local.
Hello.
I live next door virtually to Lara, Vanessa's sister,
Yeah.
who introduced me to the patches. And then I basically didn't do anything with it until I went to a business meeting with Pat Mesiti, because I'm a trader and do that sort of business thing. And Vanessa and Andrew were there, and I said, I know about the X39, tell me more. I needed it because I have arthritis in my back, and I've got no pain from that now. I had that horrible ache in your bones down my back, and it took 3 weeks, but that's the main benefit I've had. I am working and sharing, just getting to the point of doing the follow-ups, and my son's on it because he's got Asperger's. He's had a great benefit for his anxiety and his leaky gut. So he's very happy he's on it. So it's onwards and upwards. I've just got a lot of follow-ups to do.
It's awesome.
And I don't worry if they say no or whatever, because I remember Tessa saying, well, I said no for 3 or 4 months before, and I've got people who got to take it to their doctors because they've got serious problems. A local here, he's had a heart attack. I've given him the information. I've got to follow him up during this week.
Amazing.
So I've got at least 25 people to follow up in the next 2 weeks. So
Good.
let's go away and play golf.
Gee.
When they say no, ask them. When they say no, they're really saying no to themselves and to their body, right? Like
yeah,
so-
they do.
So the
Or they
question
just,
is, you feel comfortable saying no to your health? Because
and I think a lot of them are tied into the medical establishment. That they're on 10 different pills, and well, I've got to, what happens if I put this on, and the doctor's going to, they're a bit concerned that, well, maybe this is going to muck up my meds. So that's why I do say you've got to take this to your doctor and see what they say. So the more doctors who see it, they may wake up themselves and go, yeah, just get it on, and we'll keep checking your vitals. So
well, that's what we usually say is we don't advise necessarily whether they do or don't take it to the doctor. We just say this is light therapy. There are no contraindications apart from chemotherapy or pregnancy. And even then you can do your own deep dive into, and I'll have in the background like 1 or 2 videos of people that wanted an alternative perspective on why or why not around chemo. And then usually I just say, you decide whether the doctor needs to know about this because it's light therapy. All I do say is if you're on loads of medications, keep those vitals checked, because more than often it's people need to go down on their medication, not up on their medication. And so, but I would just advise against saying, take it to your doctor. I would more say, go, you do the research and decide what to tell your doctor about light therapy. But either way is good. It's just what happens is if people have elevated their doctor to a point of God nearly, or a full expert, a lot of doctors are just going to say, don't do it, but they know nothing about it. So we are more empowering of them just to help get some agency back around their own health, and then just take certain information or force some more testing. And the exciting thing is those tests, and we've got some of them on some testimonies, it's the wild thing of 3 months later, which is what David Schmidt says, which is often it's not what you're feeling in your body, it's what's happening on the inside. And those tests are amazing. So you're doing great. 25 follow-ups. Let us know how we can help with any of those too. But I'm so excited, and I'm going to just, because it is orientation, I want to dive straight into just some of what you would have received and how we like to orient people early on. I know there's a few people that can't be on face to face, so we'll get going on this, and then we just move into an all team for anyone that can stay on. Hi, Julia.
Hi, I just made it.
You're awesome. So I'll do one more introduction, that side of the world. This is Julia. What suburb are you in, Julia?
Vankleek Hill. It's Eastern Ontario.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Hello, Julia.
Hi.
So
We're
this
from
is
Stafford. We're from Ottawa. I've
Oh.
heard about you. Yes.
You're close. Yeah,
I'm
I've
very
seen your
close.
pictures. I've seen your pictures on Facebook.
Oh, there you go. Vanessa's told me about your launch and how wonderful it was. So that's great.
well, actually, that I told you we were going to it, but it was Thanksgiving weekend. But the fun thing is, Julia's already partnered with someone and about to partner with someone else, so she's gonna do it very soon. Hi, Jody. Great to have you on too. I know you're there in Oz. So let me just show you around a little bit around your email that many of you would have received. If you're not in my direct line of sponsorship and someone else is maybe tweaking the system, we will never put down what people are doing as their own businesses, because it is your own businesses. But when I'm going to show you what I send, I'm going to tell you a bit of the why behind the what, and then you decide what you want to duplicate. But remember, in this business, the simpler you can just keep to a system, the more people will just fast track run with that. So that's the big key here to what we're doing, is you're really trying to empower other people as soon as they begin patching to say, now, are you going to take this message and spread it? Like, you know, the conference has just been on, and there was a doctor out of Israel, I think, and he said out of United Emirates, and he said, it's my social responsibility to keep sharing this technology, right?
Wow.
So that was like a big point that we can say, do you need to cover your own costs? Is that why you'd like to share? We can say, would you like to build a business and really, really add real financial flow into your life or household? Or we can move people towards what we do believe is social responsibility. And I think, to Ehab's point, it was important for me that absolutely we're building the livelihood of our family with this as one of our businesses. And my commitment to be overseas and the investment of that was to make sure that I would also just keep this finance flowing into our family. However, he did pick up what is, I believe, a social responsibility to tell people. So I do carry a boldness and a confidence around the technology and the stories that we're hearing. Some of you are brand new. So the first thing I want to show you is an email that we send out to you. So I'm just going to share my screen, and I'm going to just show you where everything is that you would have got in your email. And if you didn't, or you are unfamiliar with how to use Google Drive, for example, then I do want to show you how to use it as well if you are unfamiliar. So you get a Google Drive. You don't need a password to sign into ours, but if your email is not a Google email, then it might just ask for you to put in your email and set up your own Google Drive. When you do, it's going to come at first to what's called shared drives, and then you'll be able to put it on something called My Drive. So this is the main document that we send out. It's in a folder called business builders. So obviously all of you are on because we are treating you like brand partners that want to share. And that can be, as Andrew always says, it can be a small amount of sharing or it can be a lot of sharing. It just depends how you want to pace. So what we have in here is now, just because the business is expanded and I actually have to put a Europe, UK one together as well. It's not like there's too many differences in here, but I'm going to take Canada's, for example. Obviously, we put different times in this one than we do in the Australian one for when trainings are. So let me open up this as a Google document. So this is, you can do this on your phone or you can do this on your computer. I'd like to go through the email and then I'll pause every kind of category of the email and you can ask a clarifying question. So this is how we start. I always start with excitement because we really want people to feel that hope and energy and excitement that we have around this technology. I'm always going to be, Andrew and I are always going to be leaders that will immediately speak to health and wealth. It's definitely our value system. It's definitely our, like, the way we want to always promote this. Ehab, actually on your welcome email, it was a link. I'll show you where, if you scroll down your welcome email, if you are on your computer now, great. If not, with your further down here, that's why it's long and I like to explain it. It says also found on Google Drive here. In your email will be that live link. If it's not, let me know and I will, and you can jump off mute and interrupt, but so basically, everyone else, you can actually give me a wave or put in the chat if you don't have it, and we'll make sure we get this to you if it's helpful. But here's what I want to go through with you. I'd like to tell you why I first of all talk about the emails that you receive from LifeWave, because what can happen, even for someone that's switched on already to the potential of this business, it can feel a little overwhelming to get 4 emails straight away from a company. And so I'm upfront. A lot of what I write in this email, I do also tell them, like, hey, listen, as soon as we've signed you up, you're going to end up with like 4 or 5 emails. If I haven't told them that verbally, then I make sure that's why it's the first thing to go into your welcome email. So the first email you all get is, and everyone you're going to sign up gets, is it comes from LifeWave and it's access to their app. So what I've added into that is I've added the actual onboarding of how to download that app from the This Is It team, because we, as much as we can, we use the This Is It team trainings because they're already done for us. So here we have an onboarding video that shows them how to download the app. The second thing is they get an email that has their login and their username only. It doesn't have the password. It has their username. And so we, in our team, for the simplicity of everyone, in our team, we do the password when we set people up as welcome 1 exclamation. The reason why we do that, Julia, yeah, you can check too if I haven't emailed to you. I thought I had, but if not, I'll get that to you. The reason why we use welcome 1 and just a generic one is because we really have to support people in their back offices early on. And so that's why we ask them to keep the same one. And if later they just are not comfortable, then we will, absolutely, they can change it. They can tell us, but you always want to have access to your own team's back office for the early days of supporting them. Ray?
I'm just trying to register. I was just trying to register someone now, and welcome 1 is not working.
You mean you're signing someone up right now?
Yeah.
Well, if it's a brand new password, you're just going to set it up yourself as that.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that.
I'll have to help you afterwards just because we're on our training, but what you'll do is you will set it as their password when you're signing them up. Because
That's what I've done. And it says that it says your password must be at least 6 characters long and have 1 special character and 1 capital letter.
yeah, so welcome 1 with an exclamation mark should.
Oh, exclamation mark
yeah.
after that.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Right.
Perfect.
Okay.
Right. So that's awesome. That's exciting. Okay. So then the email number 3 is contact details from LifeWave. And in Canada, you have access to the US office. So again, that's why I've changed this welcome email according to like what country you're in. And then you get an authority to be on the email list. And then you get auto ship details. Now, what I've written here is there's a date of your auto ship. And I always say this to people, you're not ordering a whole pack again. When you're not paying the 300 again or the 500 again, I always clarify that. And then I say, we'll be in contact beforehand about if there's any switch out to that order. It's crucial people are on auto ship in this business. And I know people resist it a lot. But the thing is, they are going to turn around if they're not on an auto ship and they realize they could have been getting volume from what you're doing in your business, and now they're not getting it because they're not on auto ship. It will be something that they really later actually say, why didn't you push me? And we've got 1,000 people plus in our organization now. And you do just have to trust me. If you have any trust with people, you ask them to turn it on. You tell them it can go off at any point. You can push it out. We're not going to force that side on you. But if you end up turning around and wanting to share, the auto ship has kept you active. And so it is a conversation. We're always training that out. I won't dive deep into that right now because we do a lot of training on that, because it is a mindset that people are scared of. But if you just tell them, I'm going to be with you, if you don't want that on in 30 days or you have a cash flow issue in 30 days, we can absolutely turn that off or push it out. So, but it's really important they understand what volume is accumulating because of that when their auto ship is on. So I do it in an email, but obviously we do most of this via conversation. Hi, welcome you guys. Welcome, Kate and Terry.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, it's great to have you guys on.
It's good to be here.
Awesome. I'm just going to keep going through this welcome email that we sent. Then we give them a tracking number. Sorry, then we tell them that their receipt of their first order and their tracking number is going to also come in an email. That's really important, especially right now for my Canadian friends that are on. Canada Post is taking a while to get out to some people. And that is, we can't figure out if it's something happening out of the Ontario office or Canada. Here's an example I want to just pause on and say what is amazing once teams build and momentum grows. I contacted Ehab, who's there in Montreal yesterday, and I said, one of my new customers out of an area right near where he lives. In fact, I'd just seen her when I met Ehab. And I said, hers hasn't even left the delivery center yet. Do you have a spare month's worth that you could lend to her? And as soon as hers comes in, you'll give it back. He was amazing, him and Claire, and said, yes, I'll bring it to work. Well, that's how we ordered, and it was Christmas time, and it took 2 weeks, and Tessa rang someone who she had locally, and they delivered 1 month's worth to us. So I just love when communities of people build together, because there's just such an amazing flow that starts to happen, especially when we can't control some of like those aspects. And the second thing I want to highlight around that comment is if you're picking up anything from this company, it's a 20-year-old company that is going to feel like a startup because it is exploding. And because it's exploding, some of their customer service, it's not like they don't have money for it, but top down, David Schmidt is very particular about who he will partner with in his customer service. And so we as brand partners ultimately become a bit of that customer service while their countries are establishing and getting connected, and they're dealing with things way beyond our control. So as business leaders, we keep a really positive attitude about that. In fact, my customer, she's my new friend, but she was getting a bit antsy and can I get my money back? And I just messaged her quickly with life and positivity and empathy, obviously, at the frustration. And she messaged back, "Oh, your attitude is just so wonderful." And I said, honestly, like this technology, I just can't wait for you to get it. But in the meantime, don't get yourself frustrated about this because it's going to come in the right time. So you've got to be a leader in this business. You've really got to learn how to just keep life going in the little frustrations, but they're frustrations that in the background are because of our fast growth as a company, which is also exciting. And then this email, number 7, I write in this welcome email, this one is crucial to keep. You won't get it straight away, but the very first time you put someone into order from you, it will activate a different company called Global eWallet, who LifeWave partners with to pay you. And that could come into your spam. If it comes into your spam, just put it up into your inbox. Maybe start to save all these emails under LifeWave somewhere in your system. Again, treat it like you're going to get organized. This email you can't get back. So it's really difficult for people that accidentally delete this. They'll deal with it, but it just takes a lot more. One disclaimer around Global eWallet is, again, the hoops you have to jump through to get paid are because essentially this is your banking information. This is your finance information. Don't get frustrated with the process. Just take it step by step by step when it comes to setting up your wallet. One thing around this, I say to everyone, and I truly mean it, is you are going to be grateful when this has a flow and this is set up, because there will be a financial reward that some of you may not have experienced in other ways before. And I'm just grateful, even for the frustrations of setting this up. Every time money now gets into my account, I just get grateful for the way that we had to deal with this and that I get it weekly into my account now. So these are the emails. Any questions around the emails that you're receiving?
We are lost.
You're lost? Are you are you getting this as your email, Claire?
We opened the Canadian one, Australia, yep. Canada, US. So in the Canada, right? Or it's somewhere else?
Yeah, it's in the Canada one. So if you go back to the word Canada.
Yeah.
If we go here, if you can see my screen, and we go to Canada.
Okay.
You open up that folder, and right now that's all that is in the Canadian one is just email.
And where's the 7 numbers?
Where is the what? Sorry?
You said email number 1, number 2, number 3, and then number 7.
You will get those emails. They would have automated when we signed you up from LifeWave. So those emails are the ones I'm talking about from LifeWave themselves.
Okay, so it's not on the Google Drive.
No, because that's why we say in their letter, you're receiving all these emails from LifeWave, and we are explaining why they're receiving them.
I don't have any in my junk. Only emails I have is from you yourself.
Okay, so afterwards I'll have a look at the email that is set up with you from LifeWave, and if we got it wrong, then we'll revisit that in your back office. We'll have a look.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have
perfect.
like total of 5 emails from you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get in your back office after these meetings. Absolutely, tonight. It's perfect.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so then we say your products are on the way. I used to say what was in their orders. Now I just keep it very simple. Your products are on the way. Your receipt, I always attach their receipt if I've done the order for them. And then I say again one more time, you can track this order with the number and you'll get again a tracking code, just because it's important for people to know how they can do it. Now in the app, you actually, when they download the app, there's all instructions how to patch. Now it's very simple with the X39, how to patch, when to patch, but the app itself, if you haven't downloaded, it's very worth downloading. It's a great way of also following people up. And in the app itself, it's got videos on how to use the patches from David Schmidt. What I like about those videos is they actually get to hear David Schmidt, because he's just a really gentle personality and he's really worth just even listening to about the patches itself. The next thing I clearly say is there's all chats you can be in to hear about the support patches. However, we don't want you to get confused with any other information at first except the X39, and the support patches will fast track some specific areas of your health if you need them. I say that because, as we know in business, unless you have a hero product, you're going to slow down every bit of sharing. You're going to forget what does one patch do, what does the other patch do. And even the team out of LifeWave and David Schmidt himself says, listen, keep it about the X39, even with the new things coming out, the water machine, everything coming out. People don't need to know about that till they're getting patched with X39 and they begin to understand this amazing world of LifeWave. So I say that in my welcome email. Sandra.
Just a quick question about the, oh, it's so funny. I'm trying to use my finger pad to go down on your screen. Just a quick question about when you send the receipt through, but when you put an order through, LifeWave sends that order form through to them automatically, or am I responsible to forward that to them, like what you just said there about
It's a really great question. If I have done their first order either online with them or just done it for them, then obviously it says, do you want to print out or save this receipt? So just because I might have done it for them or with them, I attach it just for for confidence purposes that I did it and here's your receipt. But Life does already do that, and they can go in their back office and get every receipt for their orders as well.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah. It's just a formality if I've done it for them. And then I always state, think long-term about this technology. This is a really important one to always think about. You've got to keep teaching people. It's regenerative. And then there is one video I like for people that do want to know about all the patches. Now, again, I'm just going to put someone on.
Oh, in the fridge, there's some chicken bones in a plastic bag.
I'm just putting people on mute. All right. And then
sorry.
That's okay. No worries, Ray. And then I go on again. I'm a bit more long-winded, but again, I get people to go back to this email and read it. So I always say when you're going to start sharing, I don't presume they're not going to. So I do speak to people like they're going to. And so I just say that this is excitement. It's just around you being passionate. You don't have to know a lot of information. And then I talk about the business and I immediately go to all the information they need, which is at the training site called thisisit.com. I also then have their I download the goal to manager for every person at first. And then what I do is I immediately have added a script of the way they can pick up the phone and they can call someone or they can message someone. And here's the big thing I want to highlight. I say, I'm learning. Do you want to learn with me? We do not in this business wait for someone to have their own personal testimonies to start sharing with others. So I just tell people you can, even as you're learning, involve other people in your learnings, as opposed to wait 3 months, get your testimony, because this patch on you might take 3 months. This patch on another person like Sue, who you'll get to know, might take 20 minutes and entirely heal her body of the bursitis pain that meant she had no quality of life for a year. So I always say, while you're waiting for your patches, even start sharing with people while you wait. So I do reiterate that a few times. For a business builder, I talk about who's on their heart, because we're very, very committed to this being very prompted by what God will be sharing with them, who he puts on their heart to maybe share with. We really do believe that. I talk about uplines for a little bit, because even though we love This Is It info, there is a website that's got none of the energy. Although we love the energy, there's a website that's a bit more neutral around some of the interviews and the basic information. And then there is also a good website when you're dealing with practitioners. It's the one I still would always lead with for a practitioner, but the This Is It info is just about to get new information on it and more interviews with doctors. So I'll always end up sticking with This Is It info, but I do like people to know this one has more doctor heavy type of information straight away. So that's all on the email too. And then we have ways that you can come alongside to build with us. And also I'm very, very open that you can get overwhelmed with all the communities, but you just dive as deep as you want. I have a training time schedule here, and then I just tell them what's in the Google Drive. So they get access to the Google Drive twice, and it just helps them learn it. I tell them what's in the Google Drive, and then I tell them that your life will be different in 12, 24, and 36 months. So it's a long email and it's a lot of information, but it's what we reference back to a lot. It's literally like, if you want information, where's the This Is It training? Okay, let's go back to your email. Where's the links to the community and the Facebook? Let's go back to your email. So if people haven't got that email, they're receiving 20 text messages from you and all this. So even though it feels long in the early days for all of you, longer term, you'll be grateful just to have one place to go back to, just to start to read it again and again. I've done it because a year ago, this business was like pretty ground level in Australia, and we had nothing like that. So just now that we've collated everything together, we just wanted to do that to kind of serve people. So Jody, you would have got a welcome email as well from me. Again, anyone on this call that didn't get that or didn't get it from their own brand partner, again, we're honoring that each of you have businesses and other people might be onboarding you and not be doing the same thing. But if you want it and it feels helpful, you can just reach out to us or your brand partner and say, can I have those documents as well? So when you're a practitioner, you might want a very different email to go out, and we can help, you know, if you want feedback on it, we can help you with what's working as well. So that's the orientation. We just say very simply, the two things you really need to know about are thisisitinfo.com and thisisitteam.com. So information is for all your prospects. Team is for you to do the training. We love to end this new orientation call to say this. We do not have a huge network. We're not people that just have this large, like, we're not social media influencers. We are just people that took this seriously from day one and shared with people from day one. And built consistently from day one. We are now 9 months on, earning over 6 figures in this business, and we're seeing so many people we love hit 10,000 plus months in this business. And these are not people with the 1,000 people like we have. We have partnered with about, personally, 15, maybe 20 people running with this business. But again, that's 9 months. So we say you will be earning, you know, what you want to be earning and the goals you have if you treat this like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, and a side hustle, that's no problem because of your time. But if you can invest a few hours into it, like this is your business, if you went to a corporate job, you would be getting right now hours of orientation and hours of training. This Is It team is that orientation and is that training. If you are willing to commit to every video in This Is It team, just watch them. They're quick bites, they're quick videos, some of them. What you're picking up in that video, those videos, are language and culture and words that build your confidence. And so we will train every week. We'll like Andrew's about to come on, we'll do all team trainings, but nothing will replace the hours that you just put into This Is It team. One little like group of videos by the other. And this is just as some of the other team come on in a minute. I'm going to show it to you one more time so you see how it's a lot of information and it can feel like it's a lot, but just plod away at it in your spare time. And read the words, friends, because if you watch this next gen video, you're going to not just think 50 pluses. If you watch this video, you're going to hear entrepreneurs talking about 2 years in the business. If you just read the words on each page, you are going to be inspired about what your life could look like. And so watch, like this one just here is, they talk about why in the health industry, this is the best thing that's ever come
This is
into the health.
absolutely the best product you're ever going to find, not only in network marketing, in the health industry.
So then these people go on and talk about like the tax write-offs and how you do that to set yourself up. Then you talk about why the system is good. So there's a lot of information here, but if you give yourself time, we are successful because we dived into that website. Honestly, that's it. Like we just caught language, caught confidence, caught hope, caught passion, and we just kept on like duplicating that. So if you are Canadian and you're Australian and you can find sometimes American energy a little like a lot, what I say is this: you're going to see loud personalities on that website and in their trainings. You're going to hear quiet introverts on that training. You're going to hear business people, lawyers, doctors. You need to expose yourself to every different personality and find your own voice in this. But don't get triggered by Steve and Gina and the high Florida energy, because they are really incredible people. They're phenomenal leaders and they've been very personally invested into what's happening in our lives, our team's life, and we are going to be forever grateful for their leadership. So push through some of them. I feel like, oh, that's a lot in like one of the 5-minute videos, and go, because there was one guy that I went, oh my gosh, just the way he was on stage, my personality I love it. But I listened to the 5 minutes and he said in this video in Making Managers, call the people you love first, call your family, call your closest friends first, because where they're going to come in your business will change their life forever. And Martin is under my sister, and my sister's life is being changed because she's sharing this. And if I'd not pushed through the personality trigger, I wouldn't have heard that, and I wouldn't have called my sister first. And so I just think just stay really open to that. And if you can hear that from us as new brand partners, that would be our highest recommendations. So this ends new brand partner orientation. But if you have, no one else has come on yet. Andrew's in the room now.
Hello, everybody.
So if you have just any final questions as new brand partners, feel free, because no other of our all team has come on yet. But any questions or clarity on the Google Drive or the documents?
Vanessa, you know the blue one where you click on the, I cannot find that on mine. I don't know if
Okay.
I've accidentally deleted it or,
Yeah.
but you know
Yeah.
the one, I mean, it's got a background of blue. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. It's on that Google Drive. If I just go back for a second, I'm going to briefly show you. We go over here.
Well, I'm trying to go onto the Play Store to
Yeah,
so I can download the app. Of course, it wants.
I'll show it. You know what? It is here. It's under. It's what I'm kind of working on right now. See this? Welcome. Oh no, you're right, Sandra. It's not there. Perfect. I need to add it. That's a great pickup. Okay.
Would you mind just?
I thought I was going mad.
No, that's perfect. That's great.
Would you mind doing us a favor? And I'm just going to mute.
Yeah, we'll
do us a favor, just to email us to remind us of that. Just with today, especially being a big day, we can forget those things.
Sure.
That's awesome. Jody, I'll resend all that to you again too. And Neve, those scripts are in our Google Drive.
I don't recall ever getting that.
No, I don't think so from Katrina. So what I will do is send you everything again in that Google Drive so you can reproduce it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And hello and congratulations. I know you were married, but on your formal wedding that you just had.
Thank you.
Oh, so special. That's amazing. Cool. All right. So was there any other questions that I saw? Is the tax stuff there? No. Okay. So Amanda, really they just reference that how you can write things off in terms of tax. They just more say, hey, this is a business. So as soon as you jump into it, don't forget, keep receipts, copies, like all the rest of it. Australia, we do have an accountant that is working with a lot of us in LifeWave, just because again the financial growth has been really exciting. So people have had to even move from no company business to a company. So we can.
So what Vanessa is saying with that is we have an accountant that we work with, we've had for over 15 years. Yeah. So we refer to her. We're very upfront. We make a finder's fee from doing that. Yeah. And then she has been helping from our SPD and others on how to set up their companies and how to do this. So if you need an accountant in Australia, let us know if we can help.
Yeah.
I have one more question. It's like a double for that. So if you have a US person that you'd recommend, that would be great.
I do too.
Okay, cool. And then if this is in the This Is It team link tower, just let me know. I feel like I've looked for it and I haven't found it. But you were talking about the global pay thing. And so I'm just a little unclear on, okay, now there's commissions in the back end. How does that stay in and get do I just use that towards my auto ship, or do I need to move it into the bank and then just keep circulating, and how to do that? That's the stuff I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great question. So now that on purpose, we realize how crucial global e-wallet is, I've put that in that welcome email to say, don't delete that email. But I also have realized I'm just going to put a picture or like a screenshot of what it looks like when you do get it from global e-wallet. Here under onboarding, Neve is it is a great question. So under onboarding, go down to pay portal e-wallet, and it's a whole video, 2 teachings on it there as well.
Perfect. I missed it because I went straight to the 10-step system or the manager one. I think I missed the onboarding.
Yeah. So onboarding is amazing it's what I'll always use when I'm teaching people how to take orders and how to set up enrollments. And we'll model it physically first, but then we ask people to watch those videos. So then they build the confidence to do it as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's awesome. That's okay. So if there is no, Jody, I'll say anyone that hasn't got what I've got, if you could write down this email, it's the one you're always receiving information. So info@hoysglobal.com, and Julia too. So if you haven't for some reason, because I did do that when I was in Canada, but email me back and say we didn't get the welcome email or the Google documents, and I will just get that to you this afternoon. So that's awesome.
Perfect.
All right. So we're gonna
Vanessa,
yeah, right.
the call tonight, oh gosh, is that going to be the same as to this morning?
There'll be, when we do the opportunity calls, they're very different because I'm going to have different testimony. We'll have different testimonies in this one now at, you know, in half an hour versus the one tonight. But Andrew and I are presenting them both, and we'll just have different testimonies in them. But training is going to be the same. Yes.
But the
Yeah,
opportunity.
because I didn't get around to contacting Sharon and Heather.
Okay. Yeah, we do all this. We do brand partner training, the same. I'll go through the welcome email the same, and then team training will be the same teaching.
And that's 7 o'clock, isn't it? 7 o'clock?
It's 7 o'clock Brisbane time.
Okay, I'll contact them.
Thanks, Ray.
So the
Thanks.
opportunity meeting in the morning is more for like the North American, using testimonies and people from North America and Europe, and then in the nighttime is more Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's what we're doing it.
That's great. And this is.
Should we go into team meeting, Vanessa?
Yes, there is weekly team calls. Now that we're in this rhythm, and literally this whole one's just started today, Neve, I'll put somewhere where it's going to stay consistently, unless we're not hosting it, and then it might have to be a different Zoom, though we're giving people logins. So we'll figure that out.
I'll always use ours.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to switch gears because this all team training is where now we just really give updates on what's coming up in the life of LifeWave, and then also just really talk about mindsets a little bit as well. So today we're going to, so we're going to do that. We're going to hand this over to Andrew, and then I'm just going to wrap up a few minutes. Do you want to go and do it from upstairs? You can log on upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll just give you some updates. So what we have going on right now in LifeWave is we have the conference, the just LifeWave's 20-year conference. It was too late for a lot of you that are brand new to have purchased that virtual, but I do have one or two of our team members that have been willing to hand out their logins to it if you're willing to watch, but only one person can be viewing at a time. So we're going to put on a few like viewing times over the next, because we've got 30 days to be watching that. The main one you want to really catch is David Schmidt. He's got a 2-hour presentation. Anyone running this business just needs to at least access and hear his heart, and his vision on what's going on. But the second thing we want to say as leaders is don't walk away from all the momentum you're going to see on Teams and chats and all the rest of it, and end up regurgitating too much to other people about all the vision and all the things and where the company's going. The last day of training was our leaders, Steve and Gina Schmidt. They took Steve and Gina Merritt. They took everyone to a training day, and they actually just had to just take everyone again and say, keep just leading this business, sharing the X39. Just keep it very simple for people. When they get their results and they start to get the simplicity of patching on their body, then their world of LifeWave opens up. Corporate sends them some emails, and then they get some exciting introductions to things. But essentially what we're really doing is we just want people to know there's a patch called the X39. It's light therapy technology. It's going to elevate your copper peptides, which we know regenerates your own body's stem cells. This is how your body can heal. This is as simple as we want to keep the business, no matter what vision you watch. Vision is crucial for you and for you going as a family. Wow, we're part of something massive. We're part of a brilliant mission. But for the average person, they don't care. They just want to get well. They might want to get some financial flow into their world, but they're not really yet going, do you want to align with a big mission? I'm going to pause though and say, some of you are very passionate about what really David and the company we're now realizing is passionate about: sovereignty and freedom and the future and all those things. But we would still recommend, in the way you share it, you just don't need to overwhelm people. What we love to do is ask more questions and then echo back, based on someone's experience, more things that might align with them. So can I use, just while Andrew's getting on for some training, can I use you, Ehab and Claire? The way we met was very much with a brochure about light therapy technology. Once I got into Ehab's practice and started to listen and had some stories for him, and it was all as a professional practitioner, at no point there did we exchange our faith beliefs, like any of that. We felt like we could feel like there was just a like spirit in a room, as he just mentioned, but there was no exchange of that at first. But the more I was listening to him and I was catching like his heart for people and questions he was asking around the technology, and even questions I couldn't answer, but I was like, you can dive deep into this website and all the rest of it, because I don't know what he was asking about. At that point, once we got on a call and we, I think he spoke to another practitioner friend of ours and realized we were ministers and we had the same faith, then of course it shifted, and then the conversation shifted for me about what they might value when it came to LifeWave and David Schmidt. But it's not what we offered at first, because I don't know whether that's going to interest him or not. And then same with some of the future of where LifeWave's going and what LifeWave stands for, and the kind of sovereignty, and even who they're aligning with right now, even in terms of the documentary and some of these people that were pretty anti the last few years. Andrew and I like to train, and again, it's your business, but we like to train that if you can stay away from extreme conversations, either, and I don't mean faith is extreme, but conversations that locate you for or against something, if you can stay away from that kind of conversation until you've got some trust and some chemistry there, it's really important, because vaccinated, non-vaccinated, left or right, red or blue, like it, in terms of those kind of religion, all the rest of it, we just want this technology to stand on its own as something really powerful to share. And from there, you'll use your own discernment, leadership, wisdom, personality to then go, they're going to help build that trust. But do you receive that? Because we're seeing like this can like locate people on either extreme. And just as leaders, and definitely in our trainings, you're going to hear what we just called center, and keep it very people oriented. So questions or clarity around what I'm saying when it comes to that kind of model of business building? I'm good with that. Yeah. Yeah. And especially on team meetings, you're not going to see like too much, permission in our team meetings for conversations, but then you might create, for example, like a group of freedom fighters, right, that want to talk all like that, but you want to cluster people, and you cluster them into those subcultures because they're going to run together and become friends with each other. But you just want to keep your leadership, what we just call wide and open around this technology, because we have light workers that are completely like non-faith based on our team. And then we have like incredibly faith-based people too. But you'll notice in our worlds, we just, again, keep it fairly centered. Yeah. Perfect. All right. So I love when Andrew teaches, he's just going to come and just speak into a few training mindsets for you around the business.
No, that's great. And I would also add on to that. If you did any Enneagram work, I'm an 8 on the Enneagram, so I like to talk straight, is I say to people, do you want to create a movement or do you want to create money, finance? And when you have finance, especially, you have more influence to create the things that you want. But you're going to lose people potentially when you could bring them along the journey. And so one-to-one, I'm up for every conversation, politically and so on. And I have strong views, but corporately, I always want a safe space where anyone could walk in and feel like they can be a part of it. So it's your business. That's what we do in our culture. And everyone knows who's a part of this that we give platforms to. That's how we do this. And then you choose how you would prefer to do yours. And it's exciting days ahead. So I just want to talk for Vanessa talked about mindset. So I've changed a little bit of what I was going to do because you changed the script on me. But I believe mindset is everything. So if you don't mind in the chat, could you give me a number out of 10 and of how your mindset is in life? Is it something that's a challenge for you? It could be a 3 or a 5. If it's something that you're working on, it could be like a 7. Or is it something that you really value and you really disciplined in working in your mindset? You could be at 8, 9, or 10. Again, we're not here to hold this against anyone. We just want to help grow that muscle because your mindset is a muscle. I said this yesterday in our training from Naught to Manager, is when it comes to a company like business like this, and you could equate it to anything, you've got the person that complains and has excuses for why they're not succeeding. And yet you've got someone in the same situation, the same age group, the same culture, the same climate, all of those things that in general has the same platform that they have in life, and they're thriving. What's the difference? Someone made a decision to look forwards and not sit there and waste time complaining and making things worse. They changed something. For me in leadership, which I've been involved in for almost 3 decades now, is everything in life is a door and a key. Through that door is the next opportunity, the next season, whatever that might be for my life. I need to find the key. How do I open that door? And the key a lot of the time is mindset, is how we find that key to unlock the door of opportunity that we want to move forward in, even if we've had 10 setbacks, how we use those setbacks to create that key to open into the next opportunity. So everything to me is mindset. It's the difference between winners and those that don't win. So the first thought is this, and I'm only going to talk for about 10 minutes. So put in the chat if you don't mind and say, hey, this is something that you need right now. Let me know. Is this: embrace your unique vision. You have a unique vision that is so connected to who you are, your dreams, your passions, your desires, the things that you want to accomplish in your life. Have you written down what your unique vision is? Because your mindset connects to the vision that you have for your life. That's not the same as the person next to you's. For Vanessa and I, we want to live between potentially 3 to 5 countries eventually. We love adventure. We want to be around different people all the time. We want to experience new opportunities and we want to create those opportunities for our children. Someone who lives next door to me could be completely opposite. They don't want to leave where they live. They want to have their family around them. They love where they live. They don't necessarily like to travel, and they have a completely different vision to us in life. And both are great, as long as one doesn't cross over into the other person's vision. What's your unique vision? Have you written it down? And is it something that you constantly think about? For me, one of our greatest visions is financial freedom, but freedom in every area, freedom in our health, freedom in our relationships, freedom in our wealth, freedom spiritually. And we believe that as Christians, and we all have different potential worldviews and faiths here. Vanessa and I believe in that freedom that comes from Christ, and which makes a way for everything. But I've met Christians that say they're free, but they're always in debt. Their health is terrible. Their relationships are a mess. And they go, oh, but I'm, you know, I love Jesus. That's great. But it doesn't just start with loving Jesus. Jesus empowers us and continues to work for those of us. And again, whatever your worldview is, but for me, I see that as the beginning of how do I get freedom in every area of my life. And so that's a value for us. The second mindset I want to encourage you with is stay resilient and persistent. For Vanessa and I, one of the greatest values we've had with our children is, and our lives, is to build resilience and a persistency to move forwards. Because no matter what, where you start in life, from the top and the bottom or anything in between, you're going to get knocked down. You're going to have challenges. There is going to be things that you're going to have to confront and deal with. But that resilience, that persistency, that mindset of, okay, this sucks right now, but I'm going to find a way around this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a story of this that's going to help me to succeed even further moving forwards, rather than look at my life and this happened and that person hasn't had my challenges. That's never going to take you forward. It's a mindset of, are we going to stay persistent? So in this business, we've said to everybody, you can either be a sprinter or you can be a long distance runner. We're okay with both. You can take your time slowly or you can run fast at this. We'll support both of you. But the thing is, this is a 12, 24, and 36 month vision. This in 3 years' time, if I said to you, if you just did this one thing slowly and over 3 years' time, you could be in a financial position you've never been in your life, where you could quit your job, be making money as you sleep, helping a load of people, and your health is great. Would you do that? Most people would say in 3 years, I can do that. You have so many people quit within 90 days of something like this. And it's because we haven't helped them necessarily, or maybe they're not as resilient to keep that vision ahead of them to say, no, this is long distance. I'm going to have sprinting moments. I'm going to have seasons where I'm just more of the long distance runner. For others, they're going to be running the whole time, and everyone's journey is different. Is this helping you tonight, I should say, in North America? Third thing is this: be driven by purpose. Find your purpose in all of this. So you have your vision of what you want to achieve, but what's like your mission? What's your real purpose for this? For Vanessa and I, as I've said, our vision is a whole bunch of achievements from this, but our purpose is complete freedom and generosity. We want to be free to do what we want, how we want, when we want, what we want, all of those things, and be in a position to be generous to our faith and what we believe in, and the networks and relationships we have with that, to be to others, to family members, to lots of different things that we believe in. We want to be generous. I want to be that guy that could just pay for meals when we're out at a restaurant without even thinking about it if I want to. I want to have a whole different level of generosity. So for us, that's a part of our purpose. What's a part of your purpose in this? If it's just to make money, if it's just to get ahead, it's not big enough. Because when you get there, it's like, what next? What's your purpose? Be driven by your purpose and have a clear vision around this. The fourth thing is this: take calculated risks. Now, don't bet the farm on everything. Please don't do that unless you're young. And we've done that many times, literally had a farm. And you can recover that quickly, depending on your abilities, your background, your season of life. But take calculated risks, like calling that person that you're a little bit afraid of, but by sharing this opportunity could change their life. And let's be honest, could change yours as well. Taking that risk of going to a neighbor and saying, hey, would you want to come around for a coffee sometime? And hey, I do have something that I only talk about for 5 minutes. And if you're interested, great. And maybe that's when you're talking to them. But this opportunity I think could really help you, and it's changing my life. Taking those small and bigger risks. I actually want to ask you this question. in the last 12 months, we don't have time now, but maybe after, if I said to you to write down the amount of risks you've taken in the last 12 months, would that be something that you could go silent on? Or would it be an exhaustive list that you'd be writing? How many risks have you actually taken in the last 12 months? And I'm talking small to big. I'm not just talking about the bet the farm risks. I'm talking about the ones that get your heart going a little bit. Well, how many risks have you taken in the last 12 months? And maybe for you, jumping into this business is one of those risks taking moments that you've had. And well done on that, because I love that. And we're excited about what you're going to create. The fifth one is foster a growth mindset. Foster a growth mindset. Some of the most inspiring people I've ever met are people in their, I remember one lady being 85. She looked 40, and her mindset was younger, vibrant, more opportunistic, and life-giving than I've sometimes found many 20 or 30-year-olds. To me, we have to foster a growth mindset. I remember having a couple in a previous church that we had, and we were expanding everyone's knowledge and growth and about the marriage and relationships and faith. And I said, hey, here's a great book. Really want you to read it. Not only in their mid-50s, which is like, come on, especially with this patch. We're only halfway through around that time. So they said to me, oh no, we're too old for that. So we just got the Bible, that's fine. I wanted to, and I bit my lip because my wife kicked me under the table, wanted to go, hello, there's so much more for your life that needs to grow in. But they said, no, we're good. And I thought, wow, I never want to be that person. I'm always curious to know what's that next thing I can grow in, what can I learn? And self-awareness, let's be honest, anyone over 40 here especially, is we have to work harder with self-awareness. We think we have to work harder when we're younger with self-awareness, and absolutely, we're growing, we're developing. But now that I'm in the mid to mark, I'm realizing people have less self-awareness as they get older than even when they're younger, because people give up on having to care. That growth mindset is so important. The sixth one, and I'm going to bring this home, build a strong network. You might go, oh, I'm an introvert and I'm not good at that and I don't build networks. I'm an introvert by nature too, but I would have been a very isolated introvert if I hadn't and continue to challenge myself to get out there, to grow, to meet people. Your network, if you've never heard this before, this is going to change your life. Your network is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. I can lose everything today, but if I have a network of people that I could grow with, work with, shake hands, build opportunities on the other side of that relationship that I don't know potentially exists, I can make everything back in a year and more because of my network. Money's not the value. I mean, we know what the true values are. I don't need to go into that, but your network, I say to people all the time, the thing that you should be one of the things you should be working on the most is how big's your network. Because part of my purpose, I have a bunch of layers to that of how I want to reach out to people, my faith and these opportunities and entrepreneurship. And I've always lived with, I'm only this side of a handshake of meeting another best friend. I'm only this side of a handshake from having my life change. I'm only this side of a handshake from experiencing something I've never experienced before through relationships, because everything is about relationships. So we bit by bit, one by one, building our network. 7 is be relentlessly curious. Be relentlessly curious. How curious are you actually? If you feel vulnerable enough to be able to do it, is in the chat. Why don't you write out of 10 how curious you are as a personality? Because when it locates us, it helps us to be aware enough to go, okay, well, this is what I can do about that. And so 7, I love that. Others are coming in. Be relentlessly curious. Curiosity drives innovation and creativity. If you ever say to me that you're not creative, I will be very upset with you. Because again, coming back to my faith, which is the cornerstone for my life personally, is that the Bible says that God is awesome and he is creative. He created the heavens and the earth. So therefore, if God is creative and I've come from him, we're created with the same DNA as him. There's creativity in us. Curiosity creates creativity. The more curious we are, like that 5-year-old that doesn't stop asking you questions about why is it that color? Why is the chair like this? And why is that? And why is that curiosity? They're building creativity in their mind and how to understand how to show up in the world. Curiosity is so important. The 8th one is challenge and define norms, redefine norms. What do you need to challenge in your life? Even some of your mindsets, some of the even relationships you have, things that you used to believe or think or thought that you need to challenge and redefine to become a new norm. The 9th one is lead with authenticity. I know most of you, a lot of you here, you lead with that. Leading with authenticity as a mindset to me is a high value, because the greatest currency on earth is trust. And when people can see you're authentically you and trust that, there's a greater currency that you're able to exchange in that relationship. We must lead with authenticity. And my last and final one is balance vision with execution. So I'm a dreamer. I love dreamers. We all need to be dreamers. And I hope, and even with this patch, I'm not sure about you, could put in the chat how you found this, either out of 10 or a comment, is I'm dreaming more than I ever have before. I'm having dreams that I'm remembering the next day. I'm sleeping better than I ever have, I think, in 15 plus years. As many of you know, I'm off my sleep apnea machine after having it for 1.5 years. I'm now 7 months off my sleep apnea machine. But when it comes to vision and dreams, I love all of that, but balance it with, okay, what's next? How are you going to execute that? How are you going to make that possible? What's that next step to the next step to the next step to be able to see that possible? And so we must balance vision, dreams with execution. So 10 mindsets that I want to encourage you with today that hopefully confronts, because anything that's growth oriented will confront, but gives you also the pathway to how to grow. And so as we work with those mindsets, like for me personally, I'll never spend time with someone who's negative. My real estate up here is really expensive. So I'm not giving any of that away for someone that's going to take that real estate down. I want to keep thinking positive. I want to keep thinking potential, opportunity. I can grieve when grief is needed. I can do all those things, but keeping that mindset, it's a muscle of growth. Keep those strong mindsets happening in your life and see how we all continue to grow together and thrive. So I hope that helps. Really encourage you to take some of that and maybe pick one that you go, what's one that I'm going to work on for the next month? And really, really see some dividends from that discipline of growing in my mindset. And of course, we're here for you, and I believe in you and all that we're doing together as we have this fantastic opportunity to serve people with their health and to see incredible financial health and wealth come into people's lives as well as our own. Thank you. Hand it over to you, my love.
Hello, hello.
You want to hear now?
Meanwhile, I was getting ready for our presentation. We're going to let people in.
Okay, I'm going to
You're
drop
gonna
mine
go
and
out.
then go to yours. 1 second.
Perfect. Okay, we're here. Listen, any comments or thoughts on that? Just feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to stop the recording
Pleasure, Julia.
now.